Friends, family, fans, we are back with another episode of Back 9 Bets, episode 174. Koi fish or Koivun? This is going to be a fun discussion about the best amateur in the world. Is he now even an amateur? He's now a professional. He's making his professional debut. Luke Clanton's entire career derailed after becoming a professional and hasn't quite become, I don't think he's had a top 10 since becoming. So anyway, drive by on Luke Clanton. As always, the show's brought to you by DraftKings. Use code FGD when signing up there as a first-time depositor. And make sure you hit the like, hit the subscribe. I'm joined by former colleague, fantastic friend, right at rotorball.com, co-host of Flag Hunting Podcast, which is NASCAR and golf, one of the best names in the podcast space, Ian McNeil. How's it going, my brother?
Good, man. Good. First time in the great state of Illinois. Had a nice 13-hour drive through the Midwest yesterday. Saw some beautiful scenery in Louisville, Peoria, a lot of cornfields, a lot of windmills. So, yeah, I feel like I'm one with the Midwest now. Got to go to Culver's maybe tomorrow and really kind of lock that in. Really kind of feel the vibes of the John Deere Classic. Kind of be in with one of the locals.
Which town of the four are you staying in? Of the Quad Cities? Moline?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're staying in Illinois.
I am.
Typically when I'm there, I'd stay with my buddy Tybo, and they'd always be at the on the east side, the west side, on the Iowa side, where all the boys and the professionals stay there by the casino, obviously, so...
Yeah, I haven't gotten the lay of the land. I just got here like legit less than 24 hours ago. So, yeah, you'll have to show me around the Iowa side because, I don't know the extent of what the Quad Cities is as of right now. Just seeing the.
I can't say that I'm very familiar, but I've spent probably a month in the Quad Cities in my life, total. Given the fact I played some golf there in college as well at the TPC Deer Run venues, but in completely different conditions. It was like early May or late April that we played there. 36 holes and 32 degrees. It was diabolical. It sleeted on me on hole 10 at one point. You're trying to trying to drill a 4-iron short of the water / icy pond, and you got sleet hitting you in the eyes because it's windy and cold. So tough scenes, but I always stand there sweating my balls off watching these professionals with no wind and wondering how we played the same golf course. It is what it is, So how was it out there? You were at the golf course today. I will be joining you on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. People, we'll be at the venue together. You're going to be there the whole week as well, Ian?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Unless all my bets are in like 257, in which case I'll be heading to Charlotte like Saturday.
Okay. So how was your day today in Silvis?
It was gorgeous, man. Lovely people at TBC Deer Run. Got a shout out the Midwestern hospitality. I'm a Southern guy myself, so I feel some sort of kinship there. Very small town feel. Very nice, just all around volunteers, core staff. Everyone was super friendly.
Yeah.
Golf course is in great shape. It's more or less kind of what I expect from TBC Deer Run. The rough is maybe thicker than you'd expect for a golf course that routinely sees winning scores like 25 under. But yeah, got to keep the ball in the fairway, hit your wedges close, and make a lot of putts. So I think we kind of know what we're getting into. I don't think I'm going to be breaking any news with like on-site stuff, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's a golf course that's fun. It's fun to like watch your bets at golf courses like Deer Run because like you guys just have 15 feet for birdie every single hole. So it's just fun. Like, whereas like I go to Quail Hollow and my guy's made a 7 before I even get there and he's out of the tournament. So.
Well, listen, those must be your golfers who have 15 for birdie all the time because when I go out there sometimes, well, granted, I've actually had a really good run at the John Deere. I watched DT win his tournament. I had Seb Straka as well. And then I also, last year, had multiple guys each ways come through for me. So didn't have the winner, but had, I think, 2 or 3 top 5s come through there too, which was, it's just my happy hunting ground, So ideally, I haven't pulled the trigger on a couple names in the 25 to 30 range, Ian. I was hoping we could discuss some things, see where you're going. I like a lot of names in that range, but I don't think I can pull the trigger on all of them. Where have you begun your card, or where do you want to, kind of go here with the lay of the land?
Well, first off, good for you, Byron. I'm glad you had a ton of success here. I lost in the playoff here last year to Brian Campbell for the second time in the same calendar year. I stood in the exact same spot that Griot hit his drive on the playoff hole, right rough, the only place you cannot hit it on that golf hole. So,
yes,
fantastic. So I've not had the best course history. So I'll be relying on you to bring me the vibes.
Have some DNA there, my friend.
Yeah, I have to
Sniff it in.
Anyway, I mean, we'd be remiss if we didn't start with like literally the namesake of this podcast, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree more. If I did not maniac override Jackson Koivun in the model, he's numero uno. And I went and just took a look at his because you don't see a lot of his results because it's all this amateur stuff. This is banana land, friends. The only tournament he's played on the PGA Tour this year was the US Open. He finished 23rd. And then last year, we had a 4th, a 5th, and a 6th, and then an 11th at the John Deere Classic. His worst tournament, basically, outside of another US Open, was the John Deere. And it was one of his first. So the guy is sensational. He is extremely talented. Now, by koi fish, I mean, are we the fish in the pond here, biting at a hook? Or are we going to be betting Jackson Koivun this week? Because I want to hear your thoughts.
Well, Byron, let me start by saying I love you and I can't wait to see you. You know, it's been too long since we hopped on a podcast together, but I'll be completely upfront. Like, I didn't drive 13 hours to watch the JOHN DEERE Classic. I drove 13 hours through 5 states on a Monday afternoon to watch the best amateur golfer we've seen in the last 15 years teed up for the first time as professional. This is the guy. If you follow data or golf statistics at any level, like, Jackson Koivun is not any bit of a surprise to you. It's not a surprise that he's one of the tournament favorites. 3-year starter at Auburn, swept individual honors in 2 of those 3 years, which you played college golf yourself. I don't know if you saw the Haskins Award or came close in the Nicholas.
Buddy, I was NAIA in the Midwest. This is a different world I was living in.
Didn't get invited to good old Auburn, Alabama, I guess.
No, I was an honorable mention for academic athlete situation there. So
graduation, love it. Yeah, absolutely. No, that's on the it's on the resume still, no matter what. It takes a amount of space. Yeah, Koivun. I mean, you brought up his data golf page. Won 6 of 10 starts as a college junior. I mean, insane. You talk about, like, I think the PGA Tour just released like a 20-minute special on his kind of road from amateur status to now being a professional. Like, the quotes that even like guys like Justin Thomas, Russell Henley, Ben Griffin have about this kid. I think the only comparable I can kind of think of off the top of my head is John Rahm when he came out of Arizona State, like, of a guy that's been this heavily like touted by not just, people like us, but people like within the sport. Like, everyone just seems to be in a consensus that gets next. And then you talk about the golf course fit. I think this is like the perfect venue for Koivun, who, when you think about his 2 biggest strengths, putting and approach play, he's not the longest driver of the golf ball, but he has a ton of fairways, which I think is the archetype I prefer this week. You think about like the Sepp Straka's, the Brian Campbells, the Milan Griot's, guys that have played well here historically consistently. Like, they're all accurate drivers of the ball who don't necessarily hit it that far, and that's the perfect profile. Koivun, last 4 starts on the PGA Tour, he's gained 4.1, 3.9, 7.4, and 1.6 strokes on approach. One of the best putters we've seen ever in the amateur ranks. I don't think that's going to struggle to translate. So it's just like, wherever you look, it feels like it's lining up for Jackson. So I'm on the ship. I'm one of the donks that have just, like, made the donkiest bet of 2026. And hey, sometimes you just got to join the crowds and and revel in it. He's
27 at DraftKings. There's a 28 out there. I've expected it to shorten. It's kind of stuck out there. Yeah. So I think I'm gonna join you. I think I'm gonna click it at 27. I haven't done too much damage with anybody else. I think the beginning of my card right now is at 35. So I think 27 being a starting point for me is not a problem at all. I'm pulling up the strokes gained at this golf course over the last 5 years. Davis Thompson has played fantastic. Yeah, he's a very good ball striker, obviously. Like, you think of him as a distance guy too, but he's also, relatively accurate off the tee. So actually, above average accuracy. Look at these fairway gained rates here for all the guys that have really solid, course history. It's kind of insane to see. So I think, Koivun. I have another question for you, Ian. If we take a look at the US Open last week, how would you say that the US Open can even be used as some sort of a comp for TPC Deere Run? Because easy to hit fairways. Okay, now the green's not as easy to hit, but still emphasis on around the green play and putting. Like, you got to get the ball in the hole when you're on and around the greens. And if you've played well at the US Open, buddy, does anyone walk onto a golf course with more confidence than anyone that's just finished top 20 at the US Open? Because you're playing the John Deere. A top 20 for you at the US Open, top 25 is an insanely motivating, like kind of telling you that you are doing the right things heading to John Deere Classic.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not necessarily going to use Shinnecock as a corollary course this week, but I mean, I think it says a lot that a 21-year-old kid as a college junior steps onto Shinnecock Hills and waltzes to a T23, gains strokes in all 4 categories, low amateur, has one of the rounds of the day on Sunday to kind of share that spot with, I think it was Mason Cowan that ended up sharing the spot with him. But yeah, I mean, it's another like stroke in the arsenal of like, there's not really a golf course that he's not able to face at this point. And I think John Deere, much more controlled environment. It'll remind him a lot more of the golf courses he probably played in his college days, right? Where you just have to go out there and attack. These young kids, man, like they are fearless, and he's going to be firing the flags all week long. And, you give him a putt inside 10, 12 feet. From what I've heard and seen, it's got a pretty good chance to find the bottom.
It's what we've seen. It's the stats are ridiculous on him. And I went to go look at the Data Golf page just to make sure that there are enough in there. I'd say like 5 or 6 round tournaments is fine. It's not like he's played 2 and played really well and then missed the cut barely in 1 and then like had 2 random rounds. It's been sensational golf nonstop. So I think I am in on the Jackson Koivun train now. 28-1. I'll go grab that over there. It makes too much sense in my opinion. Moving to the next guy. Half my betting card is over here, and it's not because I think Shinnecock is very compy. I think the same skills are necessary at Shinnecock as for the most part, like off the tee at least. I think that's a totally different situation than we see at typical US Open. So Tom Kim just had a really good finish there. 6th at the One Flight, 15th at the RBC Canadian, TPC Summerlin 2-time winner, Wyndham Championship winner, 3-time winner on the PGA Tour. You can't say that about a lot of golfers in our current landscape, and one of them being Keith Mitchell over there is insane, so we'll chat about that later. But Tom Kim, for me, is somebody I will be betting 35-1. I've got the top 5 on him as well. Thoughts on Tom Kim this week, Ian?
Well, Byron, I just got off the air with our other good friend, Mr. Matt Miller. We spent about an hour and a half arguing about every...
Not the bad friend Matt Miller that's currently circulating. The good Matt Miller from golf, not the NFL. 85. Yes. I had on Twitter, yes. Our good friend Matt Miller.
And we spent about an hour and a half just arguing about every player on the board. So it's nice to come on a podcast where someone's speaking sense and is betting Tom Kim.
Drive by, baby. Let's go.
The best iron player in this field over the last 50 rounds and hits the ball straight and is starting to putt well and just finished 3rd of the fucking US Open and is still somehow like the 10th highest priced golfer in the slate. Like what are we doing here? Like, I mean, it's the most like color by numbers argument of all time, but sometimes it works out. And so I bet Tom Kim at Canada. I thought he played really well in the Canadian Open. Strangely struggled off the tee there, but turned it around the US Open, gained in all 4 categories. Obviously played great. By the way, beat Scotty Scheffler heads up on that Sunday to claim solo 3rd. So checkmate to the number 1 player in the world there. So he's already proven he's got it. Now he just has to beat who's going to beat like Rio Hazatsune on Sunday to claim the John Deere Classic title. So yeah, just child's play for our boy Tommy.
Ideally, it's Jackson Koivun, or other guys we mentioned here shortly. But I agree, man. And for him, he's one of the few guys that if you look at him versus, now this is famous last words, but if you look at him versus Keith Mitchell, if you drop them into the 18th hole with a tie ball game going into, you got to go win the tournament now, that's your situation. Who are you picking? To me, I'm taking the guy that's won 3 times in the last little while, someone that just lives for the moment. I feel like Keith can kind of get a little lackluster under the gun, and especially with the fact that his putter has been absurdly good lately for Keith Mitchell, I think that can come down in a house of cards quite quickly. So not sure why we're using so much Keith Mitchell slander in the Tom Kim propaganda here, but such is life on back 9 bets.
I got one more thing on Tom as well. Like, you think about the places, I know it's like, what is it now, 3 or 4 years since Tom Kim broke out and started winning events, right away. He won Wyndham, and he won at Shriners. Who else has won those 2 events? JT Poston. right? The guy that won here 3 years ago, right? Who else plays well at those golf courses? Like Sepp Straka plays well at those golf courses. Lucas Glover plays well at those golf courses. You know, wouldn't the John Deere Classic be like the perfect fit for Tom Kim's trophy case alongside his Sedgefield and his Summerlin medals? Like it just makes so much sense. So,
yes, we've seen the beginning of these guys' careers just blossom at TPC Deer Run, and Tom Kim is still so damn young. His career can blossom, can have the second blossoming here at TPC. I mean, we've had Bryson, we've had Jordan, we've had Brian Harmon, we've had Brian Campbell, all elite golfers coming through at John Deere Classics. Joking there on the BC side, but yeah, Tom Kim, 35-1, very, very fair number in my opinion. You mentioned JT Poston, my bud. We are looking at someone that's coming in here with a past win in 2022, a 6th place finish in 2023 at the TPC Deer Run venue. We've got a win at the Memorial, another golf course that you don't have to hit a lot of. It's not difficult to hit the fairways there. It's very penal if you do miss them. So another course that I like off the tee to use as like a nice comp in that department. He won that golf tournament, by the way. Finished 4th at the US Open. He's also a winner of this event in the past. It makes a lot of sense. He's got longer odds than Keith Mitchell, so by quite a margin. So to me, JT Poston, I think there's a 28 out there as well. I will be jumping on that, in my opinion. I think I'm just going with guys that make a lot of sense here, and he's mispriced. You got Jordan Spieth price ahead of him. You got Keith Mitchell price ahead of him. We got Eric Cole around him. We got Pearson Coody as well. I think he's in a tier above those guys, in my opinion. And I think, given just the fact that he's won so many times on the PGA Tour, when he gets it done, he gets it done. Perfect golf course for him. Thoughts on JT Poston and the number?
Hey, man. I mean, I'm a Charlotte guy. JT Poston grew up 30 minutes from me, Hickory, North Carolina guy. So, yeah, I'll carry the flag in the battle with JT. I don't have a bet on him. I decided to not bet the entire top of the board this week,
okay.
Byron. But
okay.
yeah, you do what you have to do. But yeah, I mean, JT, I think he obviously makes a lot of sense. I just, the thing that scares me away is I saw this post on Twitter. Let me see if I can find the at the Model Maniac, and it seems like JT Poston doesn't know how to chip the ball. He made a 12 on the 13th hole. So I don't know if you saw that. You might want to check the tape on that result. But
I hear he's a fun follow. You should check him out. He's got some fun stuff out there. Maybe that's why we're getting a 28 and not an 18.
They saw your post and they're like, "Oh, this guy sucks. Let's play him below Keith Mitchell."
Exactly.
No, look, I do agree though. If I wanted to bet like one of the guy under 30, it'd probably be Poston for the reasons you've laid out.
Yeah, I just figured Poston would be closer to the top of the board. I mean, you're saying I'm betting the top of the board. It's not really. We've got a couple more names ahead of the guys I'm betting here. Okay, this is the bottom half of the top of the board that I'm starting with. Yeah, so
it's 4XRI. It's okay.
Yeah,
yeah.
So we're rocking and rolling. I think I'm going to go with Poston. It just makes too much sense. It just makes too much sense for me right now. We've spoken about what we like about him there. Kind of going back to some other names, I'm going to filter back by the model rankings. Well, I guess I can jump on another name that we want to chat about. Emiliano Grillo. Do you have anything positive to say about Emiliano Grillo?
Yeah, I bet him at 92 or 90 to 1.
Let's go. Beautiful. Yeah. I'm in with my dumbass bet him at 84 to 1 the following morning after going out and staring the 92, and I got frisky. I was waiting for a better number to show up somehow on a stray book. It did not happen. So I'm in on the 84. He's the ladder play of the week. Lindeque's ladder, top 10, top 5, top 20, all the way through there. 2 runner-up finishes. Talk to me more about Emiliano Grillo.
Yeah, I think it's the most color by numbers case on the board. To be honest with you, I was stunned. He was 90 to 1. I mean, this is a guy that
makes
number
no
one.
Sense.
He's finished runner up here 2 of the last 3 starts he's had here. So of course has some comfort here in the Quad Cities. But more importantly, he's actually starting to play well. Finished T23 at the US Open. I had Joaquin Niemann top South American that week, and Grillo would not go away for the longest time on that Sunday. He was legit relevant at the top of that leaderboard for a time. Finished T23. T20 in Canada. We know Grillo's going to hit fairways, and he's actually starting to putt well over the last 2 starts, which is what you want to see from Grillo. because when the putter works, we know the ball striking is good enough. So, yeah, obviously, like it kind of all lines up. Like he's playing well, and he's played here before. So, yeah,
Silly
again,
number in my opinion, at that price tag. So it was taking advantage of that. And again, long term, not the greatest profile. I think that's maybe why. I think if we're glomming onto a bit more of this recent surge that we've seen and the course history, it makes it seem silly. We could be looking silly if he does what he did between the 2 second place finishes and missed the cut. So it happens, but again, minimal investment there at 84, at 92 to 1, wherever you grabbed him. Shout out Phil. So yeah, we're going to be doing our thing there with Emiliano Grillo as well. I'm very tempted to jump to Ben Coles as well. I mean, I'm filtered on a lot of these US Open things, and maybe we don't even lean into the US Open being a comp. I just think it's like a confidence booster like you cannot imagine. Because Davis Thompson had a really good finish at the US Open before winning the John Deere. So I wouldn't be shocked if Sepp had something similar too. But thoughts on Ben Coles, in my metrics for this year, the best iron player for this golf course this week.
This is the best show I've ever been on. You just bring up guys that I already have a case to.
Okay. Let's go.
What do you want to say? I bet him 150 to 1 on Monday morning.
Okay.
Fucking love Ben Coles, man. I mean,
all right.
Byron, do you want the guy that leads this field in approach over his last 24 rounds and leads the field in driving accuracy over his last 24 rounds, has won in the Corn Ferry Tour and finished top 20 his last 2 starts, and has come top 25 his last 2 PGA starts, including the US Open, like you said? Yeah, it just all makes sense. Like
at a I don't know, it's Banana Land number. That's a very nice number. I think there's 80s, 85s right now. I think prediction markets there's a certain one that's still got triple digits out there, I believe. So I'll be joining you. I think I've had these guys on the back burner. I think it makes just way too. The Corn Ferry win is very under the radar, yeah, and I think it makes too much sense. So Ben Coles, best iron play in the field for this golf course, like you said, fantastic when it comes to just finding the fairway. It's a perfect setup for him. It's going to be ultimately a disaster, but I think it makes too much sense.
Yeah, I had something to say. Oh yeah, the thing, Coles. You think about, like, obviously he's playing well in the moment, right now. You think about the last time, the only time he's had a chance to win on the PGA Tour. Where did he play? Do you remember that?
CJ Cup, TPC, Bunny Ranch.
Craig Ranch, right? Bent grass greens, easy scoring conditions, right? And like he gained, over 3 shots putting, over 4 shots in approach that week. I think this course is even a better fit for Coles because he's not long distance, but like he's proven himself on bent grass. His putting in like the last 24 rounds has not been great, but if you look long term, Coles is actually a pretty good bent grass putter from Texas originally, so does have experience on the surface. So, we just keep sucking each other off on every single lineup.
They'll be okay. Yeah, so a little rough for me there, but you never know. Sample size as well. It could, like you mentioned, better things to come. So again, confidence-wise, the last 3 starts he's had, at least 2 with the documented strokes gained putting metrics, were neutral. Which with someone that's got this pedigree of ball striking, he could win this thing legit. Like, his irons are so fucking good that he could probably win this tournament being a neutral putter this week, and especially with how very good he is going to be from the fairway, given ample opportunity, like you said. So, love what's going on there. By the way, Model Maniac Patreon, you can find the Ben Gents and gentlemen like that everywhere you look over there. All right, so Ben Coles, we're in at wherever you can get the best number for yourself over there. There's a place that's like Palshi that I might be joining, the triple digit squad on the Coles Monster there. Very nice medium scoring conditions as well for Benjamin. All right, so no one I'm looking for over here. Let's re-rank some stuff to get some more names we want to chat about. Some placements. Let's dive into some placements before we chat about some other things. Mac Masner. I believe I took a look at DraftKings. He is even money for a top 30. If you take a look at his situation, not necessarily the most accurate driver in the world, but playing some really good golf. And, that inaccuracy is probably going to maybe limit his upside this week, but he's ranked 5th in the model. He is top 20 in easy and medium scoring conditions. And if you take a look at his recent form here, we've got a miscut at the RBC Canadian Open. That was the first time I ever touched him in a betting market. So, shocker, that is the one outlier. But I'm going back. I am going back and we go into the top 30 market because historically, Old Masner, 42% of the time is inside the top 30 and he's fifth in the John Deere Classic. Like these are finish rates in fields like the RBC Canadian, the Memorial, the CJ Cup, it's okay. The Memorial, RBC Canadian, Charles Schwab, but better competition there. CJ Cup, one flight, not so much. But what did he do? In the weaker fields, he tends to play, I think, his best golf. And I think the one flight is not a terrible comp if you've had someone with success there. Similar kind of field, accuracy test type situation last time they played there. We'll see what he gets up to. I think he's plus money at DraftKings for a plus 106 with ties paying for that top 30 over there. I will be playing Mac Masner. Thoughts on the Masner man?
I think you bring up a really good point with the weaker fields. Like I think sometimes we get in our modeling and like we spit out last 36 rounds, best players on approach, and like the guys that have been playing against Scotty Scheffler and Colin Morikawa, it's going to be tougher to gain strokes against those fields than in Myrtle Beach and Puerto Rico, et cetera. So I think putting those in perspective is something that I've really kind of implemented this year in terms of like, I'm not going to dock a guy for finishing T44 at the Travelers because most of the guys in this field don't even get an invite to the Travelers. So, I think Meisner's playing well. I think the course makes a lot of sense, like you said. And, we're not all that far removed from like a really, really good stretch of golf. We had a chance to win the Charles Schwab, which I think is a pretty decent comp.
Yeah. He was the first time I ever met Mac Masner. I was standing on, was it 14? The par 4 before you get to, 15. The par 4 down where Brian Campbell ripped one left into the trees managed to get a drop and hit 3-wood and make one of the craziest fives I've ever seen because it rained twice on that hole. In the span that Brian can't, like it's rained, it stopped, and then it rained in the time that he finished that round, that hole. Never mind the round. That was a crazy John Deere the last time I was there. It was sick. So I saw Mac Masner on that same hole, 3 feet off the fairway, dead. Because he was in a nest and behind the trees on the right hand side there, so he didn't even have the opportunity to fade it around them. He couldn't generate enough club head speed or trajectory to get it under them and to the green. So he just hit this like the most like uninspired 80-yard just like punch shot down the fairway, and just before it even like apexed, he was out of there. He was walking already and was having a tough round. You can see some guys really struggle if you're out there as much as I was, and it was fun. So playing much better golf, grading out fantastic this week. Mac Masner, nice profile in my opinion. $7,800 in DK, will be going there. I think he makes a lot of sense this week. That's good.
He's got the temperament too. Some certain Irish major champions they might have rage quit on the entire tournament after getting a bad lie like that. So,
but it wasn't major-esque. I don't think so. Yeah. But it is the 5th major. You never know either. So, someone who's majorly impressive on bent grass greens, it's my boy Bezzy. Christian Bezuidenhout checks 5 boxes this week. I believe he's the only other guy that does so. It's Ben Griffin and Bezzy and AJ Ewart, who we will get to shortly. Check 5 or 6 boxes this week. Bezzy, second place finish here back in 2022. Like that about him. We've had some very Bezzy results kind of coming in here. CJ Cup, Byron Nelson, he actually plays pretty well there usually, but did not. Outside of that, we are just rocking top 55s. This is just what Bezzy does. I'm in the mood for food, and I don't know which way I'm going to be going. I'm going to ask for your opinion here, Ian.
Yeah.
He is currently in the top 30 market, relatively even money, I think, is Christian, plus 104. So I think I'm going to lean towards like the upside side of Bez this week in the top 10 side at 41. Since he's popping pretty hard, 7th in the this is the John Deere Classic. Again, he does have a second place finish here. I can't get to him. Ideally, I want to go top 40 bet here. But he's plus 106 in the top 30 market. Do I just go there, or am I being too cute taking the top 10 instead of the top 30?
I don't know. Like I'm not a Bez guy, so I feel like every time I bet Bez, it's always a floor play. Like it's always just because I rely that he is going to gain 3, 4, 5 shots putting and hit enough fairways to like be around. But like the spike is where I have a little bit of a concern with Zen here. Especially he's like 55 to 1 in the outright market. Like he's priced with like some legit, talented players.
I know. I think I'm going to then take heed your advice and probably go to the top 30 because I want to bet him. He is a safe play. I think top 30 in a field like this, given his current form, I think it's definitely on the cards. 32nd at the Schwab, 35th at the PGA Championship, 6th at the One Flight. This is what gave me some optimism is that he is popping. Maybe I will maybe I'll do a bit of both. Bet like we'll see. We'll see what we can get up to in that department. So I will be betting Bezzy then plus 106 for a plus 104 for a top 30 ties paid in full over there on DraftKings. So there we have it there. Speaking of DraftKings, quick little word and then we'll be back with you guys in 60 seconds. New DraftKings customers, get in the game right now. Sign up today, make your first deposit of just $5 and instantly get $25 in free Pick 6 bonus picks, plus a powerful single-use 100% winnings boost token. That means you can play for free with $25 in bonus picks, and if you win, boost those winnings up to 100%. That's up to $100 boost in cash. New customers only, bonus picks and your boost token expire in just 14 days, so don't wait. This offer is live from June 20th through August 23rd. Download the DraftKings app, sign up, and start playing Pick 6 today. Must be 18 or older, 19 in Alabama, Nebraska, 21 in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia. That only where Pick 6 is available. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. New customers only, minimum $5 deposit required. Full terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos. Play free, win bigger, only on DraftKings Pick 6. Unfortunately, I have to listen to myself read those, and I think actually that's one of the best ones I've done. Very, very casual, ripped off the states there like a. Can you do the states backwards, Ian?
The states backwards? What do you mean the states backwards?
Can you side off the states in alphabetical order backwards? Like they do for DUIs. I think they make you say that kind of stuff or something. My wife can do it backwards. I know she can. I don't know why, but she can. Where to start.
I legit don't even. I think I'd be stumped on like the first one.
I mean, what is the first one anyway? I don't know either. But anyway, speaking of states, we are back in Silvis, Illinois this week and the Quad Cities. In the chat here, we've got a question about Keegan Bradley. How about Keegan Bradley? Played well last week, using him as my one and done. He's going under the radar. Absolutely. I do think he is going under the radar. I don't have him ranked fantastic, but this is Keegan Bradley showing up here after a 14th at the Travelers, a golf course that he's played well at historically. Would you say Travelers is kind of compy in a way? Short golf course, scoreable, very mid to long mid wedge intensive, bent grass greens. Thoughts on Keegan Bradley?
Yeah, I mean, frankly, I don't want to bet Keegan Bradley at an event I'm going to. So that's like literally my only reason not betting Keegan Bradley. I think he's paired with Koivun, and he's paired with one of the guys I bet in round 1. And I'm like actually debating not watching him because I don't want to watch Keegan's line up 8 point for 7 minutes a hole. But yeah, I mean, statistically, if we just go out all like just eliminate all the biases and are perfect little humans, hitting the ball incredibly well. He talked about in detail, I think it was with Smiley Kaufman on one of his shows, about like really not getting proper prep for this season after like obviously a devastating like fall where he lost Smiley Kaufman. I think like the first 6 or 8 starts of the season, he was like horrendously bad. Yeah. But since the Masters has really started to pick it up, and like you said, like he's playing in elite events every single week, and now we're starting to see results. T14 at Travelers, T19 at Memorial, T19 at Quail Hollow, T12 at the Heritage, T21 at Augusta. Has missed one cut over his last looks like 10 or 12 starts. So I mean, Bentgrass Golf Course. This is the one where it's like Keegan wins by 3 this week, and we're like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Bentgrass Golf Course positional. He's at a pretty good number, I think, in this field, like 28 to 1, round about the post and Koivun range. Like, it just makes a lot of sense. I'm just not gonna do it.
No, neither me. He is one of the total drivers in the field that, like does have kind of under the radar distance with pretty solid accuracy given. Eighth in the micro model tool this week, and checking boxes in the recent form side of things. So moving in the right direction, been playing in the signature events as you mentioned. These finishes you can halve them basically, in my opinion. So that is something I do want to work on, is weighted finishing positions. Or I might, I was actually thinking about in adopting a finish percentage. What percentage of the field did you finish inside of? Because across, but now it's kind of going to be irrelevant anyway once we move to 2 years time, once we have 120 man 2-track events. But until then, we're going to have 70 man fields, we're going to have 85 man fields, we're going to have 120 man, 140 man fields. The cut, the top 40 rates, the top 20 rates, they totally different. They mean different things in different events. So I think that's something I'm going to be doing, just using like a finishing percentage versus a finish, position kind of thing. So we'll see how that works out. That's in the back of my brain, just thinking about Keegan Bradley. But there's your Keegan Bradley take for us over there. Send us to another guy you're in the mood for. Yeah, is there anyone on the screen that you took a gander at this week?
Yeah, let's talk about. Your fellow South Africa. We already talked about Seabez.
Okay.
Let's talk.
Okay.
The best South African golfer currently walking the planet, Mr. Potgieter.
My boy, are you in?
Yes.
I'm in. Let's go.
Yeah.
66. Off we go with the 6 places. Yeah.
That's a good place.
Playing well, man. Look, the thing that's surprising me the most is this. Look at this. This is the worst finish was a 48th at the truest. Outside of that, it's like 25th, 14th, 35th, 8th. Like this is some consistent golf that we are seeing from the most explosive golfer on the planet, in my opinion. Truly, when it comes to distance and stuff. But yeah, talk to me, baby. What's really exciting about him?
So my thing with Potgieter, number one, you kind of mentioned it. Like he's last 2 starts, PGA Championship T35, T8 at the Canadian, gained strokes in all 4 phases. So like we're not looking at like the old Potgieter that was like a really flawed golfer outside of his distance, right? And was like super spiky and then super floor. Like he is maintaining like a really, really good run here for a few months now. You think about the place he won last year, right? Obviously this course not as driver heavy, but I think Potgieter, you can make an exception. Like he gained over 4 shots in 3 rounds off the tee last year. Like he was leading this field in strokes gained per round off the tee. He has the capacity with his immense length, even at a venue like this that I don't feel like is the most like driver heavy golf course, where he can take lines where other guys can't and really impose his will off the tee. And then you talk like I like Potgieter on golf courses where he can attack. Like you think about, obviously he won the Rocket Mortgage, easy score conditions, finished T5 at the Genesis Invitational this year. Shout out to you, 55-1. On again, an easier version of Riviera, right? And then finished T8 at the Canadian, which again, wider fairways. It's a little bit of a longer golf course, but kind of easier score conditions, similar agronomy, right? So for me, Potgieter, he's got that like immense upside off the tee, and he's starting to put the rest of his game together. Because if you can get Potgieter on a golf course where he's going to hit 80+% of his greens, he can make enough putts to keep pace at the top of the leaderboard. He's going to destroy the par 5s. And so like I just like this type of setup where like the DI rate is going to be high. He doesn't have to scramble very much. And again, like you just give him like with how he drives it, he's going to just automatically give himself good looks for birdie without really even needing great approach play.
Dude, and I think Bentgrass greens is pretty neutral, but he's had a couple tournaments where he's like really putted badly at times, and that can kind of nuke any of his putting stats.
Yeah.
I feel like anytime you get him on any sort of surface that he's familiar with, Bentgrass putting surfaces, Kikuyu fairways, at the Genesis, also that's a perfect kind of golf course for him. This is where you want to find Aldrich. And he was playing pretty well here prior to the WD, and that could have potentially been with injury related. I wish I was walking around chatting to his pops. Just a tank. His buddy is just a beast. And he's got.
Is he an Afrikaans speaker?
Yeah. Oh, very much so. Yeah,
okay,
because Aldrich is South African but grew up a bit in Australia. You can tell by his accent; it's a bit like more, like a bit more back of the throat kind of thing. Yeah. Your nose is a bit more like. If you want to talk like an Australian, if you're South African, you just make your nose a little bigger, mate. So That's kind of how Aldrich kind of goes, but I'm not going to take that away from him. I think fantastic things to come. And also, we were sitting on the shout out KJ Parlay, who may or may not be going this week. I think I'm going to miss you because we usually hang out there. And we were sitting on 17 green, and Aldrich hit a tee ball on 17 that while you were chatting about him, I wanted to go search my Twitter because I took a snapshot of the shot tracker. He hit one over the trees on 17. Not around the trees, he hit it over the trees. And it went so far. And then he hit an 8-iron over the green. So on 17. And hole 17, people, if you don't know which hole that is, it is a 554-yard par 5. He hit driver 8-iron 20 yards over the green. He just somehow just nuked an 8-iron like 220. It was insane. So he has the distance to absolutely dismantle any sort of a golf course and take lines that people are not even thinking of. So not just the fact that he's a big bomber, he does his thing in massive capacity in really a multitude of environments. So looking at Aldrich, absolutely 66 is in the Discord. We popped that out there. Love what's going on there. We've spoken about Emiliano Grillo already. I'm going to keep scrooting up here. Quick little placement tangent.
Yeah.
Andrew Putnam, 21st in the model. Thrives in easier conditions. As you can see on the screen, easy and medium, he's gaining like an average of 0.6. In hellish and hard, he's neutral. He's a good short game specialist. He's a hyper accurate driver of the golf ball. That, to me, is the better your fairway percentage rate is, the better your iron play is going to be this week, just because it's like a domino effect. If you're missing fairways, your irons can really struggle here because, like I mentioned with the McMasner situation on that par 4 where it was like a bit of a problem. So Putnam,
it's easy to get blocked out on a lot of these holes. You miss the fairway in the wrong place. Like, you might not necessarily have the worst lie, but you just have to manufacture something through the trees. Like it's the landing areas aren't like super narrow claustrophobic. It's not like a harbor town in that sense. But if you do get off the beaten path, like all of a sudden problems do emerge. It is a tree line golf course, like even though the fairways are 40 yards wide.
Yeah, and it's not even, I wouldn't even call it like Parkland style. I would call the trees that are there like jungle ravine, more so than anything else.
Yeah. There's some big native grass. Like it can get gnarly. Like you have to miss by 40 yards, but it can get real bad.
I mean, people do that. It's how it goes. And walking TPC Deer Run is fun because people told me when I came to America, don't worry, you're going to Iowa, it's flat. I grew up in the high veld in South Africa, similar situation. You get ya. It is flat. No one has dog tags on their dogs because you can like stand on top of your roof and watch it run away for like 4 days. But in most areas where our golf courses, it is hilly as fuck, man. You are walking like I remember like constantly trying to figure out why I can't hit a pitching wedge because I'm like standing with my left foot like significantly higher than my right, in Iowa. So they build golf courses where they couldn't farm essentially, and it was on the hilly stuff, So this is a hilly track. You got to be fit. Andrew Putnam, not carry into Andrew Putnam being a fit golfer. I think he is a good course fit though for this week, 14th in the micro model. Taking a peek, I haven't made the bet yet, but I'm just going to take a look at his finishing rates and just kind of go there. I think I'm just going to go with the top 20 situation for Andrew Putnam. Or actually, a top 40 bet is probably where I'm going to be going. I think I have it in... No, I don't. Putnam. Let's find his name. Think about Putnam. Ian, what are you thinking with him?
I've been really impressed with him thus far in 2026, especially over the last 2 months or so. Yeah. It feels like, he's made the cut in both the majors he's played in. Had a legit chance to win the Valero, which again is another kind of sneaky positional golf course, a lot of wedges. Jordan Spieth won there. I think similar kind of profiles should fit. The iron plays went away a little bit over the last kind of 2 or 3 starts, but you always have the putting built in with Putnam. You always have the short game built in.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to hit a ton of fairways. So I actually think 100 to 1, he's actually got some upside if he does find the iron play. But yeah, built-in floor, I think top 30, top 40 play, I think is the slam dunk.
He's minus 102 for a top 40.
Yeah, log into DraftKings.
Okay.
What was that code?
What's up?
So I'm going to log into draft. What was that code you gave out earlier?
FGD.
Yeah.
FGD, baby. Go ahead and pop that in there. I really appreciate that, Ian. Thank you for the little side plug in that department.
Some bonus bets and a -102 on Putnam top 40.
Yeah. I mean, the top, this my buddy Tybo was sending me messages about like sweating a JT top 20 because now I've got him doing like one placement a week kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make placements a thing for people because for me, I struggle for the outrights. So having a placement market really is where I subsidize everything, and I think it allows you to touch guys like Andrew Putnam. And I think we've just lost Ian. It's all good. He'll be back, I'm assuming. I also want to take a peek at Andrew Putnam in the first round leader market because he makes too much sense, in my opinion, as a leader. Ian is off out of his house. He's on site this week, so we'll give him some grace with the Wi-Fi there at the hotel or whatever. Maybe his stuff is the free hours out of there. He's just jumped from multiple shows. So first round leader, Andrew Putnam. Let's take a peek in this situation. Andrew Putnam is 90-1 on DraftKings for a first round leader, which I think is absolutely going to be a situation we find ourselves in here. If we go to the right-hand side of the model over here, you can take a look at the round 1, round 2, round 3 stuff, and Andrew Putnam's best stats are actually in round 1. The reason that the top 40 is in play versus Ian's top 10 outright upside is if he can figure out this round 4 stuff, we are back in play with Andrew Putnam as well as Ian back on the camera here. Good to have you back, Ian. A smooth little chat about Andrew Putnam as a first round leader as well. Don't necessarily know where the world's going to be this week when it comes to first round leader markets because I'd usually go the first round leader AM guys, but taking a look at this week's weather, it's kind of interesting to me to see this amount of electricity in the air, and this is TPC Deer Run. Thursday afternoon looks a little electric, and not golf-wise, weather-wise. If there's electricity, it's delays. They won't have us out there, and it means that the boys on Thursday morning get like 9-mile-per-hour winds in like some really stanky, sweaty, muggy conditions at 85, 86 degrees, like 10 o'clock in the morning. And then Friday rolls through and we get a bit of a different situation. 76, 78 degrees, 7-mile-per-hour winds. This could be where we start seeing this part of the field play their first round. Thoughts on this weather situation this week?
It's a really good angle. The thing is, you obviously prefer the AM wave in general. So, why not take the guys that are teeing off at 8 o'clock anyway and will likely be done before the weather hits? Because typically what happens in the FRL markets, the first round leader markets, they don't really adjust the prices based on tee times. So it's not like you're getting a discount to bet the PM guys with the anticipation they're going to play Friday morning. So I would still probably lean more towards the AM just because softer greens, better greens, less foot traffic, and then just in case you don't want your guy caught out there in rain before the storm. So if he has to play 4 holes in the rain, it's going to significantly affect.
Yeah. So I'm on the edge here with the first round stuff. I think Wednesday night will be when we're pulling the trigger on some names. But Andrew Putnam absolutely on the radar here as we look at the radar for this week's John Deere Classic. So I think a PM option, sometimes if you wait long enough, those markets kind of find the equilibrium as some Jim Cummingses and the likes get their bets in there on the first round leader sides and know who the sharp guys are. Thank you, Jim. It was fun being on the show with you guys. And Larry, go check out the first taste there with the boys. I was lucky enough to be a guest on their show there as well. So that will be a fun listen for you guys in that department. Andrew Putnam, first round leader, 90-1 on DraftKings. Definitely going to be going there regardless of tee time, in my opinion. So that's that. Scooting up to AJ Hewitt. Let's do it. Hewitt, Bud, this guy. Anything you see in a blue font means that's a top 20 for this particular box. 12th in the model overall. We are 54% total finish rates for top 10s, top 5s, wins. This includes a bit of Corn Ferry Tour stuff. Obviously, he's not a PGA Tour winner, but still playing some good golf. If you take a look at his recent form, we are looking at a 19th, 17th, 29th coming into this week. I think that is some really solid form, which you see over here on the right-hand side in the last 2 strokes. It's like he's playing his best golf, of course, in the last 2 months. Top 20 in that department. When it comes to the course fit, 15th in the micro model. That's a top 20, obviously. If you don't know how to do math, 15 is inside of 20 there. Makes a lot of sense in that department. And then I want good putters this week as well. He's one of them. So he does a lot of good work. Gains on approach. He's also one of the guys that typically does some good work when it comes to these mid irons as well. Ian, talk to me about the Ugu AJ.
Is that what we're calling him? Ugu?
Look at him and go ew, but
or is that like isn't a baby sheep a ewe?
Hey, that's a lamb, and lamb tastes delicious, and I think AJ Ewart 140 to 1 sounds and tastes even better, in my opinion.
You bet him 140? You bet him?
I actually have him at 150, but you can grab 140 out there right now, and it was with the 6 places, which gives you a clue where that was. I also have a top 20 on him at plus 350 as well. So the fact of the matter is this mid-iron stuff is just too good to pass up. Just make your pars on the long iron stuff, and then just look at this. This is where you score, right? This is where you make your birdies.
Yeah. That's fair enough. The case is fair enough. My betting card in general, if you guys like between Grio and Tom Kim and Koivun and all them, like it's been pretty like I've been with the crowds for the most part. I've seen Ewert's has been like quite popular this week, and he's the one guy I haven't quite understood why. He's like a pretty horrendous driver of the golf ball. Like does not hit fairways, does not hit it long. He's kind of like almost like a worse Bezadenhout in that range where you kind of are already banking on like the minus at least half a shot to shot for the week off the tee. And then like his approach play recently has improved, but in the aggregate, not a particularly good approach player just based on strokes gained. So I think you're kind of just relying on the short game of the putting, and I don't really deem him to be a good enough ball striker to like actually win this week. But I mean, the results do speak for themselves. So I won't personally be in. I think I like Putnam better than Ewart, like even in the outright market, just because I trust the approach play of Putnam more. I trust the driver of Putnam more, and I think they're pretty comparable with the short game. So just breaking it down like that, I trust the profile of the guy we just brought up in the triple digits. But yeah, I'll first little bit of disagreement here. I'm not really on the AJ bandwagon.
Wow, I can't believe we're in disagreement about someone that's 140 to 1. I mean, how could you dare find anything wrong with his game at 140 to 1? And $7,100 in DraftKings pricing. So I get it. Like obviously you can't bet everybody, and if you're not playing him, you got to tell me why. So that's a fantastic answer, and we can have our disagreements there. Talk to me about someone that you do like.
Let's go with my guy Johnny Kiefer. Are you on Kiefer this week?
Not yet. I'm thinking. I'm in the mood to be persuaded. I don't know if it'll go outright. I don't know if I'll go where, but he is the best in easy scoring conditions, which I've got it filtered on you. So chat to me, baby. Convince me.
Yeah, well, I already convinced Matt on this about an hour or so ago. So let's see if we can go 2 for 2 tonight.
Okay.
This is maybe my strongest like lean of the week. He's I think 65 to 1 still in the outright market. I don't think people really understand how good Johnny Kiefer's rookie season was. Now, if you go back 12 months, he wasn't playing on the PGA Tour. He's playing on the Korn Ferry Tour. But he put together one of the best Korn Ferry seasons of all time. He set the tour record in history for scoring average. He averaged 67.95 scoring average on the Korn Ferry Tour. 2 wins in 23 starts and 10 additional finishes at 12th or better. He was basically finished in the top 10 in every key stat you could ask for. 3rd in birdie average, 4th in total driving, 4th in ball striking, 2nd in scrambling, 10th in putting average. And notably, many of his top results that you have there very kindly listed there on Data Golf came in very similar scoring distance and on very similar agronomy to what we'll see at Deere run this year. He won the NB5 Invitational last summer in the state of Illinois, across the way in Glenview, Illinois. Winning score 26 under par on bent grass greens. Won the Veritex Bank Championship in Texas. Not bent grass greens, but winning score of 30 under. Again, a place where you have to go super deep. Second at Holston Hills for the Knoxville Open, bent grass greens, winning score 19 under. T7 at the Patriot Golf Club in Oklahoma, Midwest, bent grass greens, winning score of minus 33 that week. So you're getting like an idea, right? Like Kiefer is able to go low. He's able to make a ton of birdies, and it's all well and good. He played great in the Korn Ferry Tour, whatever. Now we're starting to see the progression of, okay, he's beginning to translate that Korn Ferry Tour success onto the PGA Tour. Over his last 4 starts since the CJ Cup Byron Nelson, which you've already listed as a comp course. Let's see if I can find Mr. Kiefer in my database here. Here we go. So last 4 starts, since he finished T9 at the CJ Cup Byron Nelson, he's gained 9.45, 5.73, 6.69, and 9.04 strokes ball striking. So that's just driving and iron play combined. The best ball striker in the field at Shinnecock Hills at the US Open finished T39 that week. And again, like elite total driver, elite short game, elite approach play. And he has some pedigree on bent grass greens. I mentioned his best putting week of the entire season came at TPC Craig Ranch, bent grass greens. Went to Baylor, both home courses at Baylor, also bent grass greens from the state of Texas and San Antonio. Midwestern guy. So I'm so big on Kiefer this week. I cannot understand at all why he's priced the way he is. I think he's every bit like the prospect that maybe not of Koivun's level, but like he's not far behind in terms of these kids like under 25 years of age that I think are going to make big waves on the tour. So hasn't ever played here. I think maybe that's depressing his number a little bit, but you talked about like guys that showed life at the US Open, guys that are playing well. He has some winning pedigree on lower tours, and again, is only 6 months into his PGA Tour career and is already kind of putting up these kind of numbers. So
yeah,
big fan of Kiefer this week.
Okay. When you just want to try to find Kiefer in the mall, just filter on easy scoring conditions because he leads the field. 1.6 strokes gained on average on the last 12 months. When scoring is 1.5 strokes under par or easier for the day, there's a massive, not a bad drop off to 0.4 and 0.5, which is normal. It's a very acceptable range. The fact that he's so elite, to see such a drop off to like when. This is going to be this week. If you take a look at scoring conditions historically, it's either easy or medium, buddy. I think 2022 we had a one hellish day. That was it. It must have been the one day at the John Deere Classic the wind blew. These guys get it in like the most tranquil situations ever. So love that for him.
Also, Byron, it's strength of field as well. Like the players that are playing well for Thursday and Friday, all of a sudden the weekend hits, they feel like I can win this thing. They haven't been in that position before. They tighten up. We see that all the time with like these lower tier events. Mm-hmm. Guys are going super low Thursday, Friday, and then the Saturday, Sunday comes. I think we even saw with Scotty Scheffler and Victor Hovland last week, where if you'd have told Scotty Scheffler he only had to get to 22 under to win that tournament, you would have thought he would sleptwalk to that Travelers win. So I think the setup is perfect for Kiefer.
Okay.
So
66, you said you got him at. Okay. I need to do the math because I don't know exactly. I've added some names to the card. I need to figure out exactly how much capacity we have here. I will be playing him, and it very much could be, if he's 60-1, it could be a top 20 type situation because it seems like his numbers kind of clump around that range. 34% top 20 rate, 38% top 30 rate. So kind of seems like when he pops inside the top 20. So I'm kind of fancying that as an angle on the Keefster. We'll monitor the outright situation, but definitely I think I'll be going to him top 20. Can't just blindly bet a top 20 bet on this show. We got to make sure that we know the odds for Kiefer because plus 225. That's. I'm
not bad.
Totally cool with that. 35% of the time he's doing it, and it's plus 225 in a field like this. Boom, we're in. Johnny Kiefer, top 20 bet. Only have to drop half a unit to win a full and some change. Let's go. Thank you, Ian, for getting me on that ship there. If he wins, he wins. If not, top 20 will still do just fine. Other names.
In the Quad Cities, no matter what.
What's up?
So if he wins, we're going to have a good time in the Quad Cities no matter what. You won't have to pay for a drink that night.
Okay, well that's a dangerous night in that case. We'll see how that goes. We'll be going to the DAC for sure in honor of our boy Bryce, who put away. I've never seen a man drink slushies like that. Like I was trying to keep up with him at a 1-3 basis and was like just frying my brain with brain freeze. Brycey just put them away, man. It was insane to see. So, yeah. All right. Eric Cole. Doesn't seem like you're as enthused about him. I've left him on the back burner here because I was in the mood for him at the top there as well. But we've gone Koivun already. Who else have I also pulled the trigger on at the top here with you? We've gone Poston, Koivun. We've gone Tom Kim. We've gone.
Yes, about me or
No, me.
yeah.
Aldrich. We've done Griot. We've gone Ben Coles as well. Yeah, so I'm good. You know, it's like only 2 or 3 guys in the 30s and 20s. So Eric Cole, 6th at the One Flight, 2nd at the Charles Schwab, 8th at the Memorial. Buddy is putting lights out right now as well. Easy and medium scoring conditions. That's his go-to. Thoughts?
It makes a lot of sense on paper, like it always does. Eric Cole.
He lost to JT Poston in a playoff, right? Was this
Chris Kirk? That was at Honda, like a long time
Charles
ago.
Schwab. What did he do he lost to Russell Henley at the Charles Schwab. So sorry. And he lost to Chris Kirk in a playoff as well. I mean, Buddy's 0 for 2 in playoffs, so not the greatest. If Brian Campbell's showing up in a playoff, the man's done. But if not, you know, I think Eric Cole, we've seen him. Now, he's lost off the tee in the last 2 starts. But prior to that, he gained back-to-back weeks with the driver when he played really nicely at the Memorial and the Charles Schwab. You know, like a little bit of flop lag. I'm not too concerned about 2 bad tournaments. You know, like I think there's 33s out there. I'm cool with it.
2 bad tournaments, Byron. He held the damn co-lead after the first round in both. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the spikes are there, the upside's there. He's putting great. His irons are great. His short game's great. He's like it all like lines up. Like I haven't been there for any of them, so maybe that's why I'm so like detached from it. But it is like it has to happen, right? At some point, it has to happen. And this is a good spot for Eric Cole. Like he finished T7 here a couple years back. Like John Deere Classic, short positional golf course, don't have to hit a ton of drivers, just wedge and putt it. It makes all the sense in the world. It's just like, I mean, 30-1 on a guy that, I mean, anyone that's bet golf for the last 3 years has been there for one of the Eric Cole collapses, right? And it's just, yeah, the scar tissue I think has gotten me, especially at this price. You're asking me to pay 30-1. I'll just go with the young stud that's dominated college golf for the last 3 years.
Yeah, but you didn't have to. We're going with the young stud as well. You know, like so. You can put multiple people on the card. You know, this is how it goes. Also, I'm going to have to do the math, but Eric Cole would be a late ad if we did go that route. I do think I will be going to a top 10 bet on him for sure, though.
Yeah.
I you know, like he's finishing inside the top 10 20% of the time. If you go over to Eric Cole's situation, you can find him, you know, you got to scroll a little bit, plus 226, plus 265. Gee whiskers, dyslexia coming in there. But top 10, 20% of the time, works every time, baby. So let's see what Eric Cole can do. Like you said, 7th place finish here last year. This is the John Deere Classic. It's not like we're asking him to.
Yep.
Look, did he lose to Russell Henley in that playoff? Or did Russ like kind of take it? I mean, Russ went 4 under in the last 5 holes. Cole had a putt for birdie in the playoff. You know, he didn't drive it fantastic. I think Colonial's a bit more of a demanding driving test than a bit more narrow. You know, so is the Travelers, and RBC Canadian, not the greatest venue for him either. But whatever, I think there's a chance he can find a couple fairways this week. We'll definitely be going top 10. Eric Cole, I'm going to have to listen back to this podcast because I've rattled off a bunch of names that I'm going to be betting here. It's been a week for me. I'm trying to sell this house. Mrs. Maniac is out and about softballing and juggling children and dogs and. So apologies for the slight disorganization here, but I think we're doing some good work. Denny McCarthy is a guy that's been chatted about quite a lot. Any other names we haven't chatted about before we kind of drift off into the abyss here and kind of shut down the show at some point?
We can talk Denny. I bet Denny.
Okay.
But I got 75-1. So
yeah, silly number.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like Griot, right? Like he showed live at Travelers. He's starting to putt like Denny. Like the first few months of the season, he was not even putting well. Now he's starting to become the best putter again on the PGA Tour. And then of course, I'll just read off the results: 6th, 6th, 7th, 11th. Again, I mean, everyone understands why you're betting Denny.
Yeah,
it's just,
exactly.
I
think.
What angle do you want? What angle would you take with Denny McCarthy? Because he is priced so far on the board that he's got some really nice placement prices.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was. I was going to say top 10, which is hilarious because, looking at the situation, we've got basically 4 top 10s at the John Deere. In the last 12 months, he's got 0. That 11th place is doing him super dirty in the stats column. Yeah. I think that's a fair bet. This, I don't have to listen to the model percentages. Yeah, I think we can lean in. Another thing, I'm just kind of giving people good ideas, but what I want to do is figure out a way to determine a score for a golfer's course history stickiness. Is he a guy that is particularly sticky at certain type? Is he is he very bad at some courses and very good at certain courses? I think Denny McCarthy is absolutely, he would be in the top 90th percentile of course history sticky, and it's kind of these very penal. He plays the ball quite well out of very thick rough for some reason. Just the way if you think about it, he's played well at Torrey, he plays well at Murfield Village. He's played well here. Those are Brookline, thick ass rough venues. He thrives for some reason. I don't know what. There's a certain skill to getting out of cabbage. And he's perfected it. Top 10 bet for Denny McCarthy this week would be this is nice to be able to scroll like this. Plus 4-7. I mean, that's a no-brainer. Okay, in simple as that. Right? I mean, you could probably go top 20 as well because that will be plus 300. I'd imagine. So.
Under 2 to 1, sure.
Yeah.
With his course history, surely it's under 2 to 1.
Fuck. Denny. Alrighty. Where are you? Plus 220. Yeah, sorry, I forgot the number that I was speaking about for the top 10. Oh well, it's pretty in half there. Yeah. Plus 220. There we go. So I think I might be betting to win 1 unit on both. So I'll go half unit on the top 20 and then a quarter of a unit on the top 10. So basically invest 3/4 of a unit on Denny McCarthy to win 2. And watch everyone deal with him while he's cashing our top 10 bet, most hopefully, And Ian, talk to me about how you feel about guys being a loser until they're not. What is your philosophy on that? Because Denny McCarthy obviously is top 10 in the field or on the PGA Tour as golfer who hasn't won a PGA Tour event yet, right? Surely.
Yeah. Him or Eric Cole. Off the top of my head, guys that have been there for a while. I think it's all price dependent. I think it's a thing where if they're priced in a range of guys that I feel like maybe their recent form has carried them into a tier they don't belong in, that's where I start to nitpick. But if you're talking about 75 to 1 to win the John Deere Classic, of course he's already played well. That's where I start to just ignore it. I'm pretty flexible with that. I'm not gonna just condemn a guy for failing a few times. It's freaking hard to win on the PGA Tour. This is the most competitive golf tour, obviously, in the world. So yeah, I mean, once we get down to 30 to 1, where there are truly elite options around, we talked about Eric Cole earlier. That's where I'm do I really want to bet Eric Cole at 30 to 1 versus further down the board? I'm more willing to give, of course, to give some grace there, especially at an event like this where the guys he's going up against are likely going to have the same issue, either that they've tried and failed before or that they've never been in that position.
Denny McCarthy at the John Deere Classic historically. Last year, 25 to 1. 2024, 22 to 1. The year before that, 16 to 1. The year before that, 22 to 1. 2021, he was 100 to 1. And then 2019, he was 80 to 1. So, I mean, just looking at this, the last 4 years where he's had, now are the odds depicting what we could expect, the results not to reflect, because he was pretty favored. But again, if there's any place to find, I mean, we just had a really good Travelers, and I mean, if there is course history to be glommed onto, I mean, this guy is one of the tops, right? So, yeah. Again, like you mentioned, that was such a good answer. It's the entry price. I mean, at 75 to 1, it's a free square essentially. You're not
Yeah.
blowing your bankroll on that guy.
Yeah. Actually, I'll use that question to segue into my last outright that I don't think we talked about yet. So we've already talked about Koivun, Kim, Pocketer, Kiefer, McCarthy, Greedo, Coles. I've got one more. Blades Brown, who I think he's 60-1 in this field. And yes, he hasn't won a thing at the professional level, but I really like the progression we've seen from Blades, not only because he top 20s the Corn Ferry Tour every week, and every time he goes on the PGA Tour, he has some kind of top 15, but he's a guy that has continually put himself in the mix, whether it's been at the Amex with Scotty Scheffler in the final group. He's held the 54-hole lead multiple times in the Corn Ferry Tour. Now, he's come short in those situations. He had disappointing Sundays and disappointments in that stretch, but you have to remember the kid's 19 years old. It's only a second full year as a professional golfer, and he's already like reached an echelon of like he's one of the best players on the Corn Ferry Tour week in, week out. Look, you look at the odds board on the Corn Ferry Tour for that event, for a given event, he's sub 20-1 a lot of weeks, and so he's already reached that stage of respect from bookmakers. And I mean, if you were to like look at this field and say, does this resemble more of a major championship field or a Corn Ferry Tour field? This is closer to what he's used to on a week in, week out basis at 19 years old. And again, I think putting yourself in that position, you learn every single time. And you hear this from every single guy who we deem as a loser who eventually wins. He's like, all the failings that I had, I learned something from those. And then when they finally do break through, they attribute a lot of their success to all those things that we condemned them for in the months in the years prior. So Blades is his progression as a professional has just been so rapid. I'm so impressed as a 19-year-old kid. He's coming out here and is like a legit professional golfer, one of the best players on the Corn Ferry Tour already, and again impressing every time he's on the PGA Tour. He impresses. I think it's also really encouraging that probably his best two starts thus far of the PGA Tour season, outside of Puerto Rico actually. But the American Express, where he almost shot 59, short, wedge intensive, ton of birdies made. CJ Cup, Byron Nelson. We've already talked about bent grass, easy score conditions. Go out there, attack, make a ton of birdies. He's going to look around. I don't think he's going to look around and be intimidated by Ben Griffin. I don't think he's going to look around and be intimidated by JT Poston. This kid he's fearless. He's 19 years old, and he's got the game to really be something special at the top level. So I bet Blades. I think the upside case is truly pretty limitless with him, and it's crazy. I don't know. Has he been talked about in the greater discourse? Because I feel like he's flying very under the radar for a kid that, like I said, is just out of high school and is already, performing to this level.
He's the ugly stepsister to Jackson Koivun. That's the thing. And it's, in my opinion, I'd rather be that guy, because what can kill people is expectation. I mean, look at Ludwig Oberg right now. I think that's a very good kind of comp of what can happen to someone mentally, because Ludwig is obviously the most talented. I mean, we were chatting. We've spoken about Ludwig, and he's documented the fact that he can be top 5 golfer in the world. This guy's insanely good. He just pooped his pants so many times now in the last couple. So it's just how it goes. He's not 19 though. Blades has got 5 more years to get to where Ludwig is now. And I think you can build up a lot of scar tissue in that 5 years, or you can start winning a lot of golf tournaments in that 5 years. And I would not be shocked to see him do the other thing. Dude, at 19, you don't even have dad strength yet either. You're still playing off of hormones versus actual true adult strength, and the hormones are there screwing your brain up as well. I'm trying to remember what I was doing. I was playing college golf at 19, and I was a mental disaster, dude. This is how it goes. So as you get older, you mature and understand. He seems so fucking mature as well.
His interviews sound dude, he sounds like a top 10 player in the world when he speaks. I mean, he's just got that inherent belief. He knows he's good. He knows he's going to make it.
Yeah.
Again, I think he walks on this week's range, and he's like, I got these guys. I can beat these guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think it's a fantastic venue for him to do just that. So, yeah, I Man, I think obviously I don't think I can join you on him, but I mean it makes too much sense there. Maybe a top 20 bet for sure on Blades.
I mean, what are I mean his PGA Tour results? Has he finished outside the top 20 yet? 14th, 9th, 40th of Valspar, missed cut of the Cognizant third, and then 18th. So what's that?
So
5 of
top 20 bet will be going in on Blades Brown. I think it makes too much sense in that department. Yeah, plus 220 as well. You can drop half a unit to win a unit. He's in the same price range as Denny McCarthy as well, which, I'm cool with. I think that's a good, very solid entry point for a Blades Brown ticket that we're going to be on there at the top 20 market, plus 220. Tires paid in full. I mean, in the last 12 months of PGA Golf, he's finishing inside the top 20 46% of the time. And we just rattle off the more recent stuff. We've got to go all the way back to the Valspar, where he did not top 20. So, and even the Corn Ferry Tour, man,
he's consistent every week.
We've had one miscut and a T55. Everything else 17th, 13th, 16th, second, third. So these are all learning experiences. The John Deere Classic, we've said it on the show already. This is the breeding ground for young superstars to show up on the scene. We've said it about Koivun, maybe. The same could be said for Blades. I mean, he's the right age. What is Koivun? 21? He's a junior. So, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, I think is absolutely on the cards at the Deere. I think we have to mention Pearson Coody before I get out of here. I
love this bet. Dude, I'm going to be so mad if Coody wins. He's so good on bent grass. I just wish he was hitting his irons a little bit better.
Yeah. What he does do, though, is pepper greening regulations. He's not the greatest iron player, but actually, it looks like the way this course fits his skill set. Maybe are you more concerned about his more recent irons or just his irons in general? Because it looks like Coody is doing some good things. I do want to show the people, if you want to find Pearson Coody, just filter strokes gained bent grass greens, and he'll be second behind Gary Kego. So he's played so well in Texas and those kind of events, it makes way too much sense to go to him there. I want to take a look at his approach play profile here quickly and see what Coody's situation. I know he's a very good wedge player, so I'll filter on that. Maybe we can find him quicker that way. No, that's not going to work. I'm going to look for him. Okay. When it comes to his play, I mean, I guess
the recent approach play has not been good, but if you don't have to scroll that far down to find legit elite approach play. To end 2024 to end 2025 and to start 2026, he was striping the golf ball. So that it's the missing piece for me. I think personally I like him better at 3M and at Rocket because it's more like driver putter. You can get away with being a Grazerman type or a Pocket Eater type there. But I mean bent grass greens, and he's quite low price. He's 50 to 1, 45 to 1, I think, in some spots. So you're getting a decent number on TV.
Yeah. I think I'll be playing a lot of him in DFS as well. He thrives on birdie fests. He's a great putter, like we've spoken about. And like you said, his ultimate defining factor is the distance off the tee. He's an elite driver of the golf ball. If you take a look at just strokes gained off the tee, I mean, just ignore that Nicholas Lindheim situation. That's a stray situation there. Michael Brennan, Neil Shipley, Keith Mitchell, Aldrich Porchita, Luke List, Alejandro Tosti, Rico, Hoey, Pearson Coody, where are you? There we go. Not terribly far down a list of some really impressive drivers of the golf ball, So the fact that he's dialing it in, I don't mind the long irons either for him at a course like this because he'll be dominating the par fives in that department. Likely up and downing for pars non-stop there. Oh, kicked you out. My bad, brother. I hit the wrong button.
Good,
anything
man.
else?
No, I'm all good. I think we made some progress here. Yeah, we're on a lot of the same guys, which is good to know. For it's never great being on opposite guys when you're kind of attending the event together. So the stars kind of worked out. The stars aligned for our two models to spit out the same things in the outright market this week. So
how do you watch a golf tournament, Ian? When you go there, what are you going to be getting up to?
I like to follow one group and watch them play AL18 holes. I like to watch the round unfold. Yeah.
Yeah. And
don't like
I love
sitting
to find a group that's got like a sneaky good option that you can. And the thing is, Thursday, Fridays at the John Deere, you can find a group like that. And you can be intimate with them, you know?
Yeah.
So that's likely what I'll be doing as well. For me, PM Wave, it's Aldrich and Garrick. They're playing the same. They're playing the same group. So I don't know what's happening in the AM, but I'll be driving early. I'll see how late or early of a start I have. It's also I will be carrying my work. I probably shouldn't say this, but I'll be having the work laptop with me because it's month end and I have to be online. So I might be just like hotspotting my way around the John Deere Classic. But you know what? You got to do what you got to do. I won't be working. I'll just be online. But you know, we do have media credentials, which we can enjoy a nice AC system there too.
Do you not have like a work phone that you can like just log into Teams or whatever?
Buddy, fantastic idea. Fantastic idea. I think that is actually what I don't have a work phone, but maybe I can add it to the personal device.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly what we have is Teams to be online for. So, do you have Teams on your phone?
Yes, I have Teams and Ring Central. So
okay. Well, you can help me. This is gonna be great. Okay, so good stuff. I've figured out my situation there. If my supervisor is listening to this, don't fire me. He doesn't listen. Doesn't even know I do this stuff. So it is what it is. I think if he did, he'd know why I'm such a bad worker. But that is his problem, not mine. For now, Ian. What else is going on in your life? I know you got a ton of Rotable articles. Tell the people what's going on.
Yeah, just living the dream, like Byron here, trying to follow in his footsteps. Just enjoying developing as a writer, talking golf every single week. I do a power rankings article that comes out early in the week, ranking my top 10 players. Usually comes out to about 3,000 words because my writing style is very, as Byron knows, very flowy. So I tend to run on and on and on when I have something to talk about. Do that. I do a no big article that hit Wyndham Clark at the U.S. Open a couple weeks ago, so that was really fun. And then me and Matt, like I said, Matty Miller, 85 on Twitter. We go live every Tuesday nights after Byron. Usually Byron was nice enough to reschedule for me today, but we'll go live usually around 8:00 Eastern. So we've hit Wyndham Clark and Victor Hovland the last 2 weeks, so hoping to get 3 in a row. Starting to heat up a little bit. So yeah, talking outrights. I know Byron's got the placements on lock. So if you guys want some punts, you transition over to the Rotable PGA show, and me and Matt will talk you through it.
Yeah, no, I'm very transparent about my outright success. It's when I started building models, I built it for placements and matchups. You know, that seems like the way you grind out profits to me. Yeah. Some people are just very good at seeing, and also I've had a million guys lose in playoffs. You know, that's just how it goes. So
I think I'm not gonna we were talking about this earlier, me and Matt, like we got very fortunate on the Hovland thing. Like you just have to get lucky. Like obviously, like part of it is getting a guy into the mix in a winning position. But like Sunday, it's the Wild Wild West. If you get a bad stretch of like Sunday results, it's crippling. I mean, I've been there. I actually this tournament, like I think this tournament started a stretch of golf for me where I had like Griot here, I had Wyndham, Fitzpatrick, Rory, all in Scotland. They all lost to Goddard that Sunday. Had a couple like crippling finishes to end the year. So it's just like outrights it's so tough. It's more about like bankroll management. It's more just making sure you don't overextend. And that way you can kind of endure the bad breaks. And that way when things do fall away for a couple weeks, you can make a lot of it back. But yeah, I just that's the lens I tend to see it through. But certainly if I'm looking to get some placement bets down, back 9 bets is the first place I go.
Oh, my brother, thank you so much. And if I'm looking for outrights, I truly believe you're one of the better out there. And you said you are developing your writing style, but
yeah,
I've read your stuff. You are one of my favorite writers to read, and your articles are like you word things so wonderfully. They're lengthy, but if you enjoy reading nerdy ass shit that is painted with a brush that's just got aioli and caviar, resonance on there, it's what Ian does. He's a fantastic writer, and I've told you many times, and I'm assuming now that you will be doing it, you'll be entering into the FSWA, right, this year?
Yeah, I need to find the deadline because I missed it last year. So I'll have to get
Please.
you. Have to get you and Spencer, the two FSWA ringers, involved and help me figure out the process. Get on the.
I've read your shit. You would be a finalist. Like, I'm minus 200 finalist for me, in my opinion. So
You're too kind, man. But yeah,
go read Ian's stuff, and you'll agree with me. You will not disagree with me. I'm certain of it. So be sure to do all of that. Any promo code or anything like that for y'all?
what is it? FGD on
FGD.
DraftKings.
Let's go. On DraftKings. Go check it out. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. We appreciate DraftKings sponsoring this wonderful Back 9 Bets episode. Ian, thank you so much for your third consecutive hour of podcasting. I know you just jumped from yours to mine. I really appreciate you having the time to come on here. And I cannot wait to meet you in person and have a blast. We're going to have some beers. We're going to have some bets. And there's a good chance we'll end up rooming together. So I appreciate that as well.
Yeah.
Boys and girls, thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate you all. Let's have a fantastic John Deere Classic. We'll see all of you out there. Me and Ian will be there all 4 days. Unless Ian's guys run away from him, he might run away from us. But until then, we'll see you guys next time. Peace.